Hello everybody, this is HD Shaves here. I'm back with another video. I hope this finds you well and in good spirits. We have another special shave today. The main thing that I'll be talking about is this Chiseled Face soap with the Zoologist fragrance Rhinoceros. So this was a limited release, I think, that came out around 2017, and this tub has been unused until now, and it was gifted to me by London Razors, who also gifted the soap last week. So thanks very much to them. These come in these very nice, sturdy, it's not glass, I don't think, but it's a higher quality plastic or something like that. And these were expensive when these were sold. They were, again, like a limited release, and they were one of the most expensive American artisan soaps to be released at that time, I would imagine. This is in the Chiseled Face soap base, as I might have mentioned. If you're curious about those ingredients, you can check them out right there and pause the video if you'd like. But basically, Zoologist has this sort of animal theme for their perfumes, and this one happens to be called Rhinoceros, and it's a super complex scent, as you might imagine from a perfume house like Zoologist. I'll list the scent description below if you'd like to read that. This is what the soap looks, by the way, in the container, kind of a brownish yellowish color. And this is a potent scent, even though this is probably 5 years old by now. It's still a very powerful scent, and I've got just over a quarter teaspoon smushed into my captain's choice bowl here. It's got rum, leather, musk, smoke. There's just a lot going on, but the rum and leather stick out most to me, I would say. It's a complex scent, and I'll talk a little bit later about why I think you might like to use a soap scent like this compared to something that's more easygoing and more easily paired with other aftershaves or fragrances. I'll talk about that a little bit. The razor today is going to be the Gillette new Deluxe. I've used this razor before. This is a made in Canada version. The chrome plating has chipped away in some parts, but that makes me more likely to use the razor. If I know it's already been used, then I'm not worried about keeping it pristine or anything like that. I've already loaded the blade in there, and it's the same Polsilver Super Iridium from last week, I believe. For the brush today, as I get some water out of it, it is the return of the Semogue Torga C5. I've been using this brush off camera a good bit, but I haven't used it on camera in a while, so I figured why not, let's bring it back. This is breaking in really nicely, and as I start to load this up here, I'll tell you more about why I like it. With all of the Semogue brushes I tried previously, they were too floppy, or they didn't feel dense, or both. I was really hoping to like the Semogue Owners Club, which is one of their nicest bore offerings, but it was ultimately just too floppy for me. The bristles were soft, but it was just floppy, and it didn't really feel that dense, to be honest. Supposedly, this knot has the same bristles as the Semogue Owners Club, but it's lofted lower. So to me, this is a great balance of backbone softness, density, all of those things. And I think if you've had similar experiences with Semogue brushes in the past, like me, maybe you'd like to try this Torga C5. Of course, you can pick it up in all kinds of European vendors, and this one I bought from Pasteur Pharmacy, and I know Maggard Razors was selling them for a while. Not quite sure where the stock is at the moment, but you can get them here in the US as well. So we're getting quite a foamy initial load here, but I think I'm just going to call this good for now and just go right into the face lather. I'm very anxious to see how this complex scent will change after it's been lathered up and is a little bit closer to my schnoz here. So we'll be shaving off 2 days of growth as usual, and because of that I thought let's use a kind of scrubby brush, but it's not scritchy or anything. And then let's also use a little bit more aggressive razor in the new Deluxe. So as I said, there's definitely some smoky animalic notes hidden in the scent, but I think it's got enough sweetness to kind of balance it out. So I mentioned, why would you want to use a more complex soap scent with something like this rather than, using a simpler one, or, letting your aftershave or perfume be the complex part. And for me, like today, I'm going to be using an unscented aftershave. And so when you use a strong soap scent, whether it's complex or not, you can often still get whiffs of it for a good while, especially if you use an unscented aftershave. So if you really want to, get the most out of your complex soap scent, you can use an unscented aftershave to help you with that. And besides that, it can also be nice to experience these complex scents in a more inviting sort of format. So I've had the experience with some actual fragrances where it's just too overpowering, but I've tried that same scent in a soap and then I can tolerate it because the soap often mutes the fragrance to some degree. So those are just a couple reasons, but it also kind of depends on the day for me. Like tomorrow I'm going to be looking to shave in the morning and get out of here quickly to get on the road, and so I'm not going to want to use something that's super complex. Probably use something simple and that's not going to make me think too much. Anyway, I'm going to keep face lathering, and I'll bring it back in when I'm about to start my first pass with the new Deluxe. Well, it seems like the next time I use the soap, I'll have to try a slightly different loading technique or use a synthetic or something. There is tallow in this, but it's quite bubbly on me. We'll see how it performs despite that. But here we go with the Gillette new Deluxe. And like I mentioned, it's a little bit more aggressive, certainly by vintage standards. But I've always found it to be a nice shaver regardless. Definitely one of those razors that is strangely comfortable despite its aggression. Soap is nice and slick. I think this is the same. Well, I don't want to say for sure. Chiseled Face has been around a long time. And I know they haven't done too many base changes, but it is possible that this is different to their current offering. I spent more time with their Silk Tallow base, honestly, than the standard one. But I haven't done too much with any of their soaps, really. So the soap scent to me seems a little bit sweeter. Now that it's been sitting around for a little bit. And every now and then you do see these pop up on the buy sell trade forums. I think if you like rum, leather, you don't mind a complex scent, this might be a nice one to check out. Okay, first pass done. I'm going to rinse and come back for the second pass in just a moment. Pass number 2. Okay, here's pass number 2, across the grain mostly. For a weather update, it is the same in that it's still up and down. We had a couple over 80 degree days this week, but going into the weekend looks like it's going to be rainy and back down into the 50s. So I guess I'll let you all know when it's gotten more consistently, summer or spring or whatever we're in. This has been a busy couple of weeks. I think today is maybe my only full day off in like 2 weeks' time or something. So definitely gonna enjoy myself today as much as I can. This is a busy weekend of performances. Here locally and also up in Wisconsin. Haven't been there. I think I went last in February. Although that wasn't for work specifically. So I'm looking forward to playing and also staying for one day up north this weekend. So that'll be great. Okay, second pass done. Gonna rinse and come back for the final third pass in just a moment. Third and final pass. And here's the third and final pass against the grain, mostly. Razor has been feeling pretty good so far. They usually say it's aggressive, but tolerable. And not too crazy. I think this is going to be the last use on this blade, but it's been a good run. The Polsilver anyway. And there's some new notes from the fragrance that are popping out at me. I'm not quite sure what I'm smelling, but it's not bad. It's definitely good, and it's cool how the scent kind of changes as you go. If I had to compare this razor to something modern, it's more aggressive than a Game Changer 84 or any of the plates on the Rockwell. It's close to the Wolfman WR1 .80 that I have. And it's not just the teeth on this thing that make it aggressive, of course. It's all about the geometry. The teeth are kind of just extra. So I'm just feeling around, touching up. And not surprisingly, it's delivered a close shave without too much thought. So can always be thankful for that. And again, it did so a little bit more easily than if I were using something a little bit more mild, but you don't necessarily have to use an aggressive razor even on a couple days growth, right? So I'm going to do my final rinse and come back and talk to you over post-shave. Stay tuned. So as I said, the Gillette new Deluxe delivered a easy, close shave. I'm very happy with that. Let's go ahead and use some Chatillon Luxe Unscented Toner so that I can appreciate the Rhino soap fragrance for a little bit longer, perhaps. And yeah, it's starting to get to that season again to where I'll start using this unscented toner often when I'm not sure what to use for aftershave. Won't be needing the Declaration Grooming Liniment for some time, hopefully. So I've gone and moved that to another part, and then I'll be keeping this unscented toner in the cabinet, so I always have easy access to it. So let's do a final quick rundown. Mentioned the razor, mentioned the toner. The brush again was the Semogue Torga C5. If you've been unsatisfied with Semogue brushes in the past for some of those reasons I mentioned, you might like to try one of these out. And they're not terribly expensive. I think I paid $25 for this from Pasteur, something like that. And then finally, the Zoologist Chiseled Face Rhino Soap. So thank you again to London Razors for sending this my way. And I did have a little trouble with the lather, but I'm going to go ahead and blame that on myself and not the soap base. But the fragrance is fantastic. I think I'll have to pick up a decant of the actual Rhino fragrance in the future, although maybe it's different now than it used to be. They hire different people to do each one of the animal scents, if you will. And I know that they've changed a couple over time, and this might be one of them. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. This has been HD Shaves. Take care, and we'll see you again next time. Goodbye.